This is a 2026 Jeep Wrangler. This is the Willys edition, so it's got a couple of cool off-road stuff, so we'll take a look at that when we're doing the walk around. They had a couple other little things, like we put the hardtop on it, as well as the 8-speed automatic transmission when we ordered it, so you can still get them in a manual transmission, although we don't sell too many of those anymore. Across the front, you're going to notice it's got the cool Jeep grill, of course, with the vertical bars, which is kind of a standard Jeep thing, so it kind of stands out on the road. Nice front tow hooks here. You loop over so you can hook on a tow rope nice and easy if you got to pull something out of the way. Built-in fog lights there right into the front bumper. It also comes with these LEDs on the fenders. Just like a daytime running light, gives you a little bit better visibility. Headlights, same thing. They got like a little ring around the headlights so they stand out a little bit, so when you're driving down the road, people can see you. Hood itself pops open real easy. Just pull these little levers over, hold it down, and they just snap open. Same as on this side, just like that. Pop the hood there. It's hard to do with one hand, I guess, but you can do it. Inside, underneath here, it's got the V6 engine. This has been around for quite a while, so it's got the automatic start-stop, but the Pentastar V6, so it's good power. Probably one of the more popular engines over the years that we've sold. Just going to press the hood down here, relatch that. Do the same thing on this side. For those of you that haven't had a Jeep in the past, a couple things that are kind of cool that they'll do is the windshield will actually fold down. You can see it's on a hinge, so it'll actually lay forward. That's what these little bump pads are for, so the windshield can kind of ride on there. There's a little block. We'll take a look at it when we get inside, but there's a little block that goes and covers up in behind the window here. So when you're taking your windshield down, there's still some of your sensors that are up on that front or the pillar up here, so it blocks it so the mud and stuff doesn't get into it. The doors all come off. These have a different hinge this year. It's a little bit easier to get the doors off. So if you're doing that, it's stripping it all down. It's a little bit easier to get ahead of. Okay, so part of the back to the Willys package, you get the black rims, the more aggressive tires. You also notice it's got the rock rails on them there. So there's a steel bar here. This is removable. If you want, you can take it off. The only time I ever see anybody really take them off is if they want to put like running boards on. So they'll take those off and put those on instead. This one has the black fender flares, which isn't a bad idea. They stick out past the edge of the vehicle, so they tend to get rock beat a little bit if they're the painted ones. That's usually why we recommend that you get the full-length running boards, like if you go to the Sahara and stuff with the painted wheel flares. It's kind of nice to have those. Inside, we got the cloth bucket seats. This is how you recline it. You just pull this little strap there. Kind of a nice dash texture. They got a little gold in here inset with the gold stitching. This is all done in a fabric. There's your glove box with your owner's manuals and stuff. Down here, it's got the all-weather floor mats. You'll notice it's got this little plug here as well. If you go under here into the carpeting, just kind of lift this up. You can see it's got this little hole here. You can actually take that plug out and have this floor mat plug go into there. We let the customer decide if they want to do that or not. But basically, you can use that and then just pull the plug out, and you can hose the floor mat, and then the water will drain right through to the outside. So it makes it easier to clean. The idea being you're all 4x4 and out in the mud and stuff, and it just makes it easier to clean up your car. Don't know anybody that actually uses it, but you can do it. All these floor mats are also done. They got little snap buttons kind of holding everything together, so if you did want to take all the carpeting out, you can do that too. Doors come off real easy. Like I said, you just undo this little strap. There's a pin in there now. You just undo the door check, and then the doors pull off. The roof comes off. You can see it's got a couple of handles here. There's one there, one there. There's also two up the front. There's this lever and then another one there. So there's basically 4 of those for the Freedom hardtop. We can take this roof off, literally in like 2 minutes, not even. It takes us longer to figure out how to put it in the bag that's in the back than it does to actually take the roof off. Back seat, it's got three seat belts in the rear, so you can hold up to 5 passengers. Decent amount of leg room. Once again, the all-weather floor mats here in the back, you can kind of see that they're all form-fitted properly. They got the little lip to help keep the water from running into the carpets. Power window switches are here in the middle, of course, because your doors come off, so they put the switches in the middle. Little mat pockets, little storage area there, a little netting there if you want to keep some stuff tucked out of the way. Going to the rear of the vehicle. Once again, big tire and wheel. This is your backup camera. It's built into this little plug here. There's a little Allen key that you use to just take that off. And then you just undo your lug nuts and the wheel comes off. Underneath, this one has the trailer hitch as well. So if you've got this little cap just pops off, so you can put your receiver bar in. Over here's your wiring harness for your 4-pin and your 7-pin. So if you're pulling a trailer, you can do that. You'll still need to get an electric trailer brake if you're pulling anything over 1,000 pounds, I think it is. In the rear, this is the bag that I was talking about. So if we took that front roof off, it'll split fold. You can kind of see, it doesn't give you a very good picture there, but basically the T-roof just folds and sits inside this bag, and then this bag just attaches to the back of this seat, so your T-roof isn't falling over. Imagine that the T-roof's in there, and then it just kind of stays there out of the way. Now, if you're driving down the road and it starts to rain, you want to put your roof back on, you got it in the back seat for you. This lifts up. Inside here, you got a nice little storage bin. Another one of these plugs that you can take out if you want to clean this. You just hose her down, pop that plug out, and then it'll just drain to the outside. All your bolts and screws, you can just kind of pop them in here, tuck them out of the way. So if you're doing that, it's easy to keep everything sorted out. So when you go put your roof back together, you can. These are the roof bolts that they're talking about. There's one there. There's two more in front of it. Kind of turn the camera angle there so you can kind of see it down the side. So basically, you undo all those, and then you unclip the rear wiper, and then this back hatch or the back of the roof will lift off. Doesn't take very long to do it. Just have somebody give you a hand because it's pretty awkward. The roof itself isn't all that heavy. It's just that it's bulky, and you'll end up dropping it, and well, just too awkward to do by yourself. I guess you probably could if you stood in there or whatever. You could probably make a way to make it happen. Okay, over here we got our outdoor fuel card. So you just undo this. Nice kind of a Jeep throwback thing with no fuel door. Inside here, take a look at this seat. I should show you how these seats fold down, I guess. They got two buttons up here. They got this first one, which we're going to pull. You can see how it flips the headrest down. The idea behind that is if you're driving, this will lay down flat and it won't block your rear visibility because the headrests are pretty tall. And then if you want, you can pull the whole seat forward by pressing both levers at the same time. And you can see how the seat pivots, and it'll all hinge on everything so it kind of lays flat. So if you had something that you had to call that was a bit bigger, it'll be like a flat low floor all the way to the rear hatch. Gives you the opportunity to carry a little bit more cargo. Speakers are up here in the roll bar. So when you're cranking up your stereo, you're all good to go. They don't want to put them in the doors, obviously, because if you take your doors off when you're out wheeling in the mud, now you got no tunes. Power locks, power mirrors, so that'll all adjust right through here. On the seat itself, we've got two levers. This lever here isn't your recline. This is your height adjustment. So you can crank that up, and it'll raise the seat up so you can get better visibility if you're a bit shorter. This handle here you can pull. That's your recline for your normal tilt. This dial is for your lumbar support. There's a little bit in the back of that seat. I don't know if you can see it in the video or not, kind of moving, but it's basically I'm just pushing it in and out, so it'll give you a little bit better lower back support. Okay, inside on the dash, let's take a look at some of the cool stuff that's got in here. Automatic headlights, so basically just leave it in auto mode. Headlights will just automatically turn on when it gets dark out, and then you can turn your fog lights off and on through there. And then we've got our dash brightness for your speedo and your tack. Nice big tack, nice big speedometer, easy to read. You got a digital dash cluster in the center there. We can toggle through. That's going to give you all your driver's information, like your distance to empty, fuel economy, all that kind of stuff. Your battery charge, if you want to use some of your gauges for off-roading, you can do that too. Nice leather wrapped steering wheel, stitched, double stitched on the inside so it won't fall apart on you. And it's a nice, comfortable steering wheel when you're driving, and it's not like a little chunk of plastic. It's really nice. This is the control panel for changing the dash up in the dash cluster. And then you've got your hands-free for using Siri and stuff and changing your music and stuff like that. Over here you got cruise control. You got adaptive cruise, which are these ones, and then normal cruise, which are these ones. Basically the difference is normal cruise just sets the speed and the vehicle maintains it. This one here you set the speed and the distance you want to follow the cars at. So if you pull up beside somebody going a bit slower, it'll slow down and keep that set distance. Makes for a nice long road, comfortable road trip. Rear wiper controls, front wipers, that's what those are all about. On your, this is the newer dash that they came out with. It's nice and wide, so it's lots of visibility, lots of things you can access. So you can put your phone here, what music you're listening to. You can also change the layout and customize it to whatever you'd like it to be. For instance, we could just say, well, I want to know what's on the radio station right there. We can do that. So lots of customizable ability there. Go to your media center. This is your radio stations. Just says and all your different ways of getting your music in here. So you can do AM, FM, Sirius XM. You can do Apple CarPlay, auxiliary input jacks, all that sort of stuff. So tons of ways of getting your tunes in there. You can also adjust your audio settings through here. This is where you put your bass and your treble, all that sort of stuff. Heater controls, what temperature you'd like the heat to be at. All right, so this is kind of like a normal fan. You can access it through here or using the dials. I prefer to use the dials, but if you want to use the touch screens, you can. Vehicle, this is anything to do with your setup of your car, like what language you want. You can change your clock settings, your formats. Do you want it to automatically update, all that kind of stuff. Access your camera if you want. Change your settings on your camera. I should probably show what the camera means. Just going to put it in reverse. So that's that little thing we were looking at in the spare tire. So that's what your view is. So when you're backing up, you're not going to run anything. Cool Jeep logo on the other side of it there too. So lots of cool stuff in there. I could probably make like a 45-minute video just on all the things that this will do. My advice to anybody that buys one of these new Jeeps, just take a bit of time, play with the buttons, go through each one of them, see what they do. That way at least you know you can do it. You may not use it all the time, but at least you know, hey, you'd like to change something. You realize you can go in there and change it. Okay, down here we got our heater controls. Basically your temperature up and down, where you want the air to blow. You can pick your defrost or forward defrost, all that kind of stuff, and then your fan speed, you just turn the dial up and down like that. Power window switches, your power lock, or this is your power window switches. This is your keyless power point. So as long as the key's on, this power point is hot, is what that means. Okay, if it had a picture of a battery, it would only run off the battery. Flip this up here, got a couple of USB ports that you can access for charging your cell phones, that sort of stuff. Just going to shift the shifter out of the way. You can see how it's got these auxiliary 1, 2, 3, 4 buttons. What those are all about is that there's underneath the hood, the wiring harness is all there to activate this switch. So, for instance, if you added some more lights to your car, like a couple of light bars or something, you could tie them into auxiliary 1, and then when you turn that switch off and on, it would turn your light bar off and on. So it means so you don't have to drill holes in the dash, that kind of stuff. Makes it nice, neat and tidy. Off-road, if you press the off-road button, it's going to change your software parameters to how it shifts and stuff when you're in 4x4. So it'll, shift up more aggressively, I guess, is the shift points. It just makes for a better off-road experience and just changes the software. You've also got your locking rear axle. You just press that down and it'll lock the rear axles together. And what's nice about that is now both rear wheels will spin at the same speed. Makes it great for when you're doing some off-road driving, that kind of stuff. So basically all the wheels will chew instead of just the passenger's rear, which is normally the one that gets all the torque. 2 high, 4 high. You can also shift into 4 low if you want. You just push it over, and then you got to drop it back. We have to put the transmission in neutral, though, otherwise the transfer case won't let you shift. What else we got? It's got a manual mode, which is kind of cool. We can access that. Go over to there, and now you can use the manual mode to shift up and down between your gears. That reminds me, there's also this cool button up here, which is your off-road cruise control. So if you're in here and you're in 4 low, we'd have to engage the 4 low. We can activate this and then use these shift points to set what speed we want to go at. So we could say we want you to cruise at, say, 3 miles an hour, and it'll actually drive down these back trails at 3 miles an hour, just kind of crawling you up and down over the humps. It's kind of I call it an off-road cruise control. Chrysler had a better name for it, but I can't remember what it was now off the top of my head. But you get the idea. A couple of cup holders here, little place for your cell phone to sit. There's your e-brake. Nice armrest. This flips up. These are all your tools for taking your roof off and stuff. Comes with a little socket, and an Allen key, so you can take all the bolts off and stuff. We just kind of leave that there for you. And then underneath, you got a little bit more of a storage bin as well. So if you're looking to get yourself into a cool Jeep, you won't be disappointed. These are a totally cool truck to drive. My daughter's got one. She just loves it. So I'd invite you to give us a call, come down, and take one for a drive, and we'll send you home in a new Jeep. We hope to see you soon.